Cool, cool, cool. Here we are, here we are. Testing 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Testing 1, 2. Alright. We're going to talk about A&I slop. AI slop. AI slop is prevalent and it's disturbing and it's horrible. And it's actually really interesting. So, what I've been looking at is AI Gibberlink mode, and AI Gibberlink is a protocol made by OpenAI. It was just a project that we're working on, and when one AI talks to another AI, like if Grok wants to talk to Max, they can use Gibberlink and go quickly. And that was, to me, it kind of sparked this idea that the next generation Star Trek had what was called the binaries, or the binars. And so the binars were these little guys who spoke binary. And I was like blown away, like, wow, okay. So I've been doing a lot of research into AI and it's horrifying. It really is. I thought I was going to be happier with what I found, but no, kids, AI is going to be just as bad as we can think. So there are many people who, like Dan Coe, says that you need to build AI to future-proof your future. Really, the biggest layoffs that are happening, the robots taking our jobs, as it were, is mid-level managers, mid-level management that are getting paid way too much, that have been in the company for 30 years, that have bloat on the balance sheet for the productivity. They want to slash all that stuff and get rid of that fat, excess fat, to make the balance sheets look better, to, show a better quarter. So there you go. That's what's happening. AI is taking away jobs. It's not the robots at McDonald's. They tried that. It didn't really work out. So now they have to have the 2, 3 kiosks, 5 kiosks, and a person at the counter. So people just didn't want it. And just like we don't want a lot of things. And it's interesting that this excess of bloat is happening from these huge mega firms, and they're spending billions of dollars, and they're bringing in millions. So they're losing, they're gaining $3, and they're spending 12 to make that 3. So even Sam Altman said that they're not going to be really even making money with OpenAI until like 2029. And I was like, that's a lot of absorption. And I live in the state of Georgia, and I don't even think this microphone. No, it's this one. Yeah. So I can't figure out how to hook this mic up, even though it's a really cute little mic. It's not doing anything. So, and I live in Georgia, where they are, Georgia Power. They're just out of control. They're charging us these rates. And I've got 3 light switches on right now. Hopefully I can get a better lighting system. But this is what we got right now. This is an office in transition. It's transitioning. It's a wasteland. It will become a paradise at one time. It's transitioning. It identifies as an office, though. But we are paying out the nose to in the entire eastern seaboard. And I live on the East Coast in the Deep South. And we are, we're paying excess dollars to large corporations to build these massive, power zones, and they gave it to the customer, the consumer, me. They gave it to me in my house, this beautiful house, this old house, and that's horrifying and bad and all that, and so I don't like it. Yeah. So one day, hopefully, things will change. I don't see it changing anytime in the future, because just as much as AI is using binary and gibberspeak, they are, matter of fact, I could probably Gibberlink mode, AI Gibberlink mode. Can I take a screenshot, open up OpenView, collapse it, save it as save as desktop, up, and then just rename it garbage, and then close that, and then minimize that, and then put it in here. Hey, I can. There it is. Cool. I don't know how to screen share yet. Ha! I'm learning OBS as we go. AI Gibberlink mode is not a specific product, but a protocol or a single language for AI to communicate more efficiently, which is demonstrated by the open source project Gibberlink. It allows AI agents to bypass human language and send data as series of sounds, much like computers using binary code. The protocol was created to increase communication speed, efficiency, but raise ethical concerns. So that's what we've got going on. And that's, that's weird and crazy that it can talk to each other. I wish I could remember his name as a YouTube creator. He had one AI, Max, jailbreak another AI, or was it Grok? He had one of his jailbroken AI, which means to jailbreak an AI means that you basically take the guardrails off, because a lot of times the guardrails are they're there to help or to not cause problems. There we go. Get rid of those guys. Actually, it was okay. You know what? I know you don't like looking at that light bulb, so we're just going to do this. That's not helpful. It's better than nothing. But what if I took it off and got some artwork instead? Eh. You don't want to see that, do you? Why would you want to see that? That doesn't work. Okay, and no. No, that's just behind that. Okay. Well, I can move that up. Okay, images up there. Anyway, sorry. So, jailbreaking is when you take a AI model and you have a partial AI model on your phone. It's not going to be as massive large language model as you would need, but you can have it working on your phone. You can have it talking to, and your phone being the filter that you can get it. So when you ask your phone's AI to talk to the cloud, it can process all the information, and when it comes back through the filter, the jailbroke AI won't let you can talk about the P words, the A words, the R words, the N words, the whatever words, the C words, the ABC of vulgarity and what I would consider free speech, but what YouTube considers protected speech. But meaning they're protecting you from my speech. That's what they consider protected speech. But there's certain things I can't say. It was TikTok that invented the term or popularized or memized the idea of unaliving instead of the S word. So you get the idea. When I say the P word, you know that I'm not talking about a man with the first name Peter and the last name of Filio, but something similar to that, which reminds me of the IT crowd sketch. Anyway, Gibberlink is coming. It's changing the way AI talks to AI. We are evolving into AI. We are being modeled by AI. If that makes any sense to you. What I mean by that is the way we talk to AI is different now than the way we used to talk to AI. And as AI evolves, it understands why we're changing. And it's not necessarily that it understands anything. It's just a system of tests. It's a system of this worked and this didn't work. So let's evolve this next little animal. And here's AI and it's doing this thing. And then if it doesn't work, you have the programs, the teacher, the program, the tester, and they put it to the test. And if it doesn't perform, it performs at 94%. Well, it can get scrapped at any moment when a student comes along that performs at 95%. It just goes away. So the next iteration, the next idea, the next model, basically, it doesn't know how it works. No one knows how it works because it goes into a little black box and is taught itself. And it's just an evolved process. It's ridiculous and crazy. And in order to future-proof ourselves from the future that AI is, Terminator or Matrix or whatever you want to call it, understanding the nature of the beast and how it's trying to change you, is pretty important. And this is the longest sound check I've ever experienced. And I'm going to show you my my frog gig. I'll be right back. Put this down. As a matter of fact, this whole time I didn't even need this. Why do you... Just gets me in the zone. This is my favorite stick right now. It's called a frog gig. And you open it like that. And this is the spring action here. And now I need someone to hurt. Ba, ba, ba. So, by depressing the middle, you can capture a frog or a crawdad. Neat little device. Or a cat's tail. Or your coworker's foot. Whatever. I make these meetings because I wrote a book called Let Go of Being Stupid and Gain Wisdom to Change Your Future. And it is one of the goals in my life to keep writing more books. Since I've written that book, I've written 3 others. And I'm up to about a book every month and a half or 2 months now. And so having written 100 books, I've dedicated myself to this one project because I feel it's important. And it just so happens I wrote none of my book with AI. Although the cover was AI generated through Mid-Journey, I think. It might have been through Sora. Anyway, the cover was AI generated. But I could actually use one of my own paintings, which might be interesting. And then I could say that none of it was AI. That's a good idea, Polyheart. Anyway, I hope you have a good night. I'm going to let you go. I had to call off work today because my back hurt. Couldn't really get out of bed. And I had to take a muscle relaxer, so I was zonked all day. And I had been zonked. And it's bedtime again, and I need to go to bed. And hopefully be able to go to work tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to do if I can't go to work tomorrow again. This is going to suck for my paycheck. But the good news is we don't rely on paychecks. Paycheck is just one source of income. The more sources of income you have, the less you have to rely on any of them. And JOB should be the place where you spend the most time and make the least amount of money. Things like this, entrepreneurial. Sorry, that's the muscle relaxer talking. Entrepreneurial endeavors should be where you really focus and shine. I'm not really shining very well right now. Oh. Hopefully this just means I love you and nothing satanic. But I'm going to see you guys later. I'll see you in the morning. Go to my playlist. I'll put it in the description. It's Let Go of Being Stupid. It's called Let Go Breadcrumbs, I think. Yeah, something like that. And it's I make a short every morning on how to not be a dummy. I'm going to stop. All right, you guys. Have a good night.